I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical-grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician, who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
News. A North Carolina GOP senator is dropping his re-election bid after opposing President Trump's big spending and tax cut bill.
Tom Tillis did not always align with President Trump. His retirement announcement triggered a shockwave on Capitol Hill. Tillis was one of 2 Republicans who voted against starting debate on the bill last night. President Trump lit up Tillis. He said Tillis was making a, quote, big mistake opposing the bill. He then threatened to primary Tillis. Tillis worried about health care provisions in the bill, but even other Republicans from North Carolina see the bill differently from Tillis. Greg Murphy is a doctor.
The last thing as a physician I want to do is hurt a system that is already hurting as it is. But I also want to get back to the fact that there really are some things within the system as it is right now that are ridiculous and need to go away.
Democrats believe they can weaponize the big, beautiful bill against vulnerable Republicans.
Fox's Chad Pergram. So without Tillis, Rand Paul, and Ron Johnson, Republicans will have another rough road ahead to get the big, beautiful bill passed. Debate continues in the Senate, and President Trump is reportedly working the phones.
The president is praising the Republican Party overall for voting to advance the legislation overnight, a major step as he looks to unlock the rest of his domestic priorities. But the bill's final passage is not necessarily guaranteed. Vice President J.D. Vance is on standby, ready to provide a tie-breaking vote if necessary.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer forced a reading of the 940-page spending bill on the Senate floor overnight. It ended this afternoon after 16 hours. One person dead, 2 others injured after an explosion damaged about 5 homes on Philadelphia's north side this morning. America is listening to Fox News.
Listen to the all-new Bret Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, in-depth talks with lawmakers from opposite sides of the aisle, along with all your Bret Baier favorites like his all-star panel and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Federal authorities say they've busted a human smuggling hub tied to a national security threat in Los Angeles. Fox's Christina Coleman with more.
2 people were arrested 2 days ago by federal authorities. And earlier this week, 7 Iranian nationals were arrested at the very same address, including individuals on the FBI terror watch list and associates of an Iranian human trafficking network, according to Customs and Border Protection. CBP says this location has repeatedly been used to harbor illegals linked to terrorism. CBP also released a statement on the matter saying intelligence indicates the smuggling network has trafficked individuals from adversarial regimes, including Iran, posing direct risk to U.S. national security.
ICE arrested 130 Iranian nationals in the U.S. last week alone. A European hotspot is trying to dial back the number of visitors it sees on an annual basis. Fox's Paul Stevens explains.
The French Riviera resort of Cannes now imposing what its city council calls drastic regulation on cruise ships, soon banning any vessels carrying more than 1,000 people from its harbor. Cannes, of course, hosting the world's premier film festival and is joining a growing global backlash against over-tourism, also put in the spotlight with the Venice wedding of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. Only ships with fewer than 1,000 passengers will be allowed in the Cannes port starting on January 1st of next year. France drew some 100 million visitors last year, more than any other European country. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
British authorities say they have seized nearly 2.5 metric tons of cocaine aboard a ship arriving in England from Panama. Its estimated value over $130 million. It is the 6th largest cocaine seizure on record. The shipment discovered after an intelligence-led operation, this according to British officials. I'm Kathleen Maloney. This is Fox News.
It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The sun is rising, a brand new day, with smiles and laughter lighting the way. We'll share the stories, the news today. Good morning, Marianas, come what may. It's a bright, cheerful morning here, with Brad to guide us, we'll spread the cheer.
Okay, that may be the worst opening song we've had. Good morning, Marianas. Holy cow. It is, it's a lot of fun to mess around with AI music. That is not the one. That is putting me to bed right now. I mean, like, I like the, it's almost like theatrical is how bad that one is. I wouldn't go as far as saying show tunes, but like I'm still a little more partial to this one a little bit to get us going. This is what I need to get us started. But we'll mess around. We'll teach you all about this AI world that we're in. Hey, good morning, Mariana. So we're having a great time, and it's 8:11 in the morning right now, and we are looking at a gorgeous day. After that sloth of rain that we ended up having, you would almost say that it was a perfunctory amount of rain. So it's 81 degrees outside. That's an inside joke. Inside the studio. You'll know all about it later. Hey, it's we still have a 50% chance of rain today, believe it or not. 86 degrees. The high was what we're looking at today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms on tap, but it just looks too nice for that to be true. But I believe in Landon. I believe in the National Weather Service. What they're telling us has to be true. Isn't that right? All right. Well, we're looking at a light wind, 8 to 13 miles per hour out of the south. And that's because I guess it's windy down there. Tonight, got to look at some more rain. Actually, the chance of rain jumps way up tonight, 70% chance. And tomorrow, it's going to be really windy. We got gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. And if you like hot air, well, you're going to love our morning show today because we've got a couple of great guests coming in. There are our friends. They're here right with us right now. We've got Senator Marianas Castro, and we've got Travis Jones, local proprietor, and just an all-around good guy. That's what I think. What do you think?
Morning, Brad.
Good morning. Thanks for being in here with us today.
Morning.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of stuff that we're going to get to later in the day and all that. We'll talk about the sports. And I don't know, did you guys catch what was going on with the mini games in the opening last night?
I caught the fireworks.
The fireworks were incredible. I couldn't believe it. They were amazing. They looked so good. I mean, and they lasted for a long time. They were going forever. It seemed like Palau spent half of its national budget making sure that we had the best fireworks show during the opening ceremony for the games. But it really was wonderful. Really, Palau pulled out all the stops. They had a lot of people there, and it was great. But not as great as having you guys here today. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we've got a lot that we pay attention to what's going on in the economy because we have a business and we want to make sure that things work out for us. But the reason why you guys got here is because you guys are working on something special. It sounds like you heard people and you're experiencing it, that the economy's not super hot and you got a plan.
I think I can probably start this one out. I think it was a little bit before Easter. Nope, I got to get this closer.
Yeah, please.
I think it was probably a little bit before Easter where
No, you can just move the whole thing. See, it's on that big arm and everything. Yeah, you could pull it right there. There we go.
All right, better?
Yeah, it's great.
It was a little bit before Easter, I think, when I ran into Senate President Dennis, and he told me that he was going to roll out this economic business recovery program. And I just kept pushing and pushing. I said, whatever we have to do, I want to be part of this. I want to be a supporter. I want to do whatever I can. And it was actually Easter Sunday that he said, we're going to make this happen. And then I suppose it was a few weeks ago, I got invited to his office and Senator Manny was there and he said, Travis, we're going to make this happen. I want Senator Manny to drive this. And I said, this is awesome. I will do anything to keep our business and our economy going. And I think, Senator, if you can kind of give us a little more of what the goal for this is, what the outlook is.
Yeah, so a few months ago, Senate President, he's been getting visits from a lot of mostly medium to small size business owners and members from the small business community. And there are a lot of challenges that they were bringing up. So unfortunately, in the economic recovery aspect, that's the part of the community that we often don't hear from. So he started this, he decided to appoint me as the chairman of the Special Committee on CNMI Economic Recovery. And the main goal of this committee is to really, it's more of a grassroots effort to work with the individual stakeholders on a one-to-one basis. And if there's any law or anything, any regulation that's hampering their business activity, it's an outlet for them to have their voices be heard and for us to actually do something about it. Down to, just like a few weeks ago, I met with someone from the insurance industry, and there was actually some language that was, it puts more burden on the business industry itself. Mm-hmm. And it's actually language that shouldn't be there because it's actually the responsibility of the government to do that job. So there's a lot of language in some of our laws that are more reactive rather than proactive. It doesn't address the root problem, and it puts the burden on the business establishment. So our goal with this is to really look at regulations across the board, meet and hear from especially the small business community, because I feel like they're the ones that are really feeling this downturn. And like Governor Palacios once said in one of the proclamation signing, let's focus on what we can control. Recently, I'm not going to say which hotel I was at, but it's a very, it's a hotel that is pretty much one of the best hotels on island. And of course, it's not a small business, but just to put this into perspective, I tried to book a room, but it was fully booked. Come to find out, there's only 4 housekeeping staff. And the reason why it's fully booked is because they don't make all the rooms available. And then, so I'm talking from a customer perspective, right? Sitting in that hotel, a lot of the amenities were kind of like shut down. So can you imagine being a tourist and you saved up 1 year's worth of, you saved up for this vacation and you come to Saipan and it's not what you expected. It's not what your friends said it was gonna be, but let alone this, so the government is, let's say the government is pumping money into ads, but that you have one leg of business activity that is kind of doing the opposite, and it's not aligned. So our goal is really to align, to hear from the business establishments, but at the same time to make sure that we have all these gaps in place. We cannot be doing things in silos. We have to be synergized. Mm-hmm. And that's our goal with this committee, is to synergize our regulations so that we don't lose opportunity, because that's what's happening. We have so much red tape in our government that we're losing opportunity for economic growth. And we don't realize it because we're stuck. And a lot of the agencies themselves are used to doing the same thing, and change is hard. But, if you're not growing, you're dying. And we need to get back to growing.
Yeah, it sounded, when I first heard about this, I started getting really excited because it sounded like you guys are knocking down some barriers to growth for everybody and just success, like little things. Granted, like when there's reasons why there's a whole bunch of rules and regulations in place. Like all those folks over years really want to do something that would make them better at serving the community. Got it. And right now, though, you're got to get back down to basics and find out what seems to be holding us back. Like what are simple things that we can do to really spur some either business development or kind of keep some of the ones that we have alive right now.
Well, part of that too, Brad, that's exactly right. Because in this, I've kind of had to downsize. We're down to really just one staff right now. And we managed that for quite a while, but now we're starting to get party bookings. And this is kind of leading to one of the things that impacts me as a bar or a restaurant owner that we've kind of discussed, is sometimes I need to go out and get part-time help. And to get part-time help, they need to have an ABTC certification. They need to have a food handler certification. And every time an employee goes out and gets that, if they were to get it through Last Shot Bar and then say Pepo's needed a part-time helper for a night, if they were to ask me, Travis, do you have any staff that you could loan us or anything? Yeah, but then they would have to go to ABTC and get an expansion onto their ABTC card and an expansion onto their food handler's card, where I've talked to Senator Manny. I said, isn't there some way that once our employees get a food handler's or an ABTC license or any of that it just applies, that you don't have to pay $5 or $10 to get an extension for each individual business? It would make it so much easier for us to find, all these people have their certifications.
It sounds like a personal certification, not a business certification.
What they have to do is, in order to get signed up, they have to have like their home business, you'd call it. Mm-hmm. So my full-time employee, she goes up and it's under Last Shot Bar. And then if she wanted to work part-time, would have to go back up there and then get an extension for Pepo's or for whichever business was on, right? And I said, for us as a business, we don't want ABTC or BEH coming into our business to check people's certificates, knowing that they have a certificate, but it doesn't have your business on there. And I said, that's just one thing in my mind that pops off. And I know I've had a lot of people, some guys off island, say some of the zoning stuff, some of the certification, getting your annual licenses. I'm not sure that that's an immediate help. You know, when we talk about stuff that we can roll out immediately to start helping business, but it's a big deal. My month is March, where I have to do all that, and it takes me a week to go through and do all of the licensing, all of the zoning, all of the everything that goes along with it. So I think those are some of the things that we want to show, really, that we're getting things done, that we can do. Some of this can be done.
Well, that first part you talked about with the food handlers, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, like, especially, like, it's a simple thing. It doesn't require all kinds of legislation or, you know, anything massive. It seems like a pretty easy target to identify, and it seems like you guys already nailed one.
Yep. See, like, even with the food handlers, like, you have, because I had to get one when I was in the state of Oregon. I also got a food handlers here when I was at the college, just because there's some student activities that we deal with food and everything. So, and the process, I would say the difference between the two jurisdictions is, when I had it in the state of Oregon, you didn't need it if you were selling pre-packaged, pre-cooked, like, let's say the people at Coca-Cola, when they're delivering water, like, to my understanding, even they have to get that food handlers thing, which I don't know if they really need that. Like, it's already the manufacturer that made those you know, beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should have it. But once it's already sealed, and a lot of these regulations come down to also a revolving account. All the government agencies, like, so we're trying to look at, okay, what's the main purpose of this fee or process? At the end of the day, the goal is to serve the community, but if the permitting process is a barrier to even the service that the community is supposed to get, or the business, we have to rethink this.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at how we can make things more convenient. So, for example, if you had food handlers that could, like, laterally transfer without having to go back up and fill out, right? It's like, once you get it, because at the end of the day, the goal should be sanitation and just having that knowledge to a certain standard. So whether you work at Herman's Bakery or Jotun, once you have that card, it shouldn't...
Like a driver's license.
Correct.
You know, that's easy. It's a personal certification, and knowing that your business has folks who are, you know, certified and all that stuff, that's great. I mean, that you have to have that, but it's an individual certification, and that seems like an absolute no-brainer. Really easy, simple.
And I want to get this out to the agencies that work in government. This is not an attack on your agency or attack on you. This is an attack on the process that's hurting our economy. So, you know, we have to take ownership. If something's hurting the business community or our residents, as a public servant, we need to, like, look at it and really put the pride aside and look at it. So, you know, for those that, hey, Senator Castro is out to get me, that's not the concept here. The concept is looking at the issue and trying to solve the problem that's affecting our community.
Yeah, I see Dennis is on there. He's like, hey, for an example, like you were talking about the cans and stuff like that. He's like, what about a food handler for serving pretzels at a bar? I know one bar for sure that serves pretzels at a bar. But is that a food handler requirement?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
It's actually, you actually have to have a food handlers to handle the alcohol, that you have to have the alcohol license, that you have to have the ABTC license to serve alcohol. You also have to have food handlers to serve alcohol.
I'm glad that they went through some kind of training and say, hey, make sure you wash your hands before you deal with stuff.
That's kind of my thing is too. I'm right with you, Senator, that I'm not going against anybody, and I believe in having all these certifications. I just think that it doesn't make it tough on me as a business owner, but it makes it tough on the people that work for us. Yeah. Right? And then they say, do I have to go do this? Do I have to go do that? And that in turn then makes it tough on me.
So if you're a business owner, I'm just hearing about it from you guys, and I heard a little bit about it from you before you started, but now sitting here and thinking about it, you're talking about like that food handler thing. Hey, I need to hire someone part-time because I got a party coming in. I need someone, I put the word out. One of the things I say, hey, are you food handler certified? You see their certification, you just take a picture of it, or you copy it so that if anyone were to come by, like an inspector or something, you're saying, hey, I'm good to go. This person's certified, here's their certification, it's good to go and everything. That should be good enough.
And that's what I think. And right now it's important because everybody has gotten their staff so thin. Everybody has, reduced hours.
Not my staff. Not my staff. Anyway,
but they've cut people and they're down to, they might let somebody go that gets picked up by somebody else, and then when they do get busy, they can't call on their old staff because they're already working somewhere else, or something happens, so you get in a pinch and you got to find. But there's a lot of these things, and again, it's not just that. It's what we do every day. We just figure out solutions, and that's what this is. And I told Manny and Dennis also, to me, I'm not looking for a free handout. I don't want free money. Free money is not going to keep me going long time. Even tax returns coming out right now. Everybody says, well, hopefully business turns around to taxes. I'm appreciative of that, and I'm appreciating that the customers will spend their money at our place to do that, but that's not our long-term recovery plan, right? That's a fix that will get us through a month or 2 months. I don't want it free. I want our local people so comfortable spending their money again that I always say, I want butts in our seats. That's what I want, and I think every business wants that.
What are some of those other things? By the way, a lot of people jumping in saying good morning to both of you guys, and thanks for being on the show. But again, what are some of the other things beside like this food handlers? Can you give us some other examples of things that you got in mind?
So, for example, even with energy, right? We've spoken about this before. Energy is like the highest cost. It's crazy that those in the agencies, like for example, recently there was something out in the paper about saying that the CNMI has one of the most affordable rates. You're comparing apples to oranges, right? So you cannot say that, because like most of our income is going to CUC, right? So that's affecting all these establishments. So from a long-term perspective, looking at the regulations, for example, right below this building, this office, like CETA gave a good financing option to CUC. How about looking at giving financing options to businesses and our community stakeholders, and kind of synergizing all these financial resources and having them, get solar panels? And I know it's starting to get old when you say solar, but I wish we could bring in Congressman Aldon, and he can show that he's pretty much off the grid right now. Like,
it's amazing. He posts about it all the time in our veterans group, and you're like, this guy's got it figured out.
And he's passionate about it, and that's the thing I really respect about Congressman Aldon, is he knows what he's talking about. He's proven it, right? And I guess. Recently, Senator Jude, who's the chairman of the PUTC, I was able to link him up with some contacts in Hawaii, which right now Hawaii is like leading the nation in terms of renewables. And this is not renewables just based on like climate change. This is renewables based on economics, reducing the cost of energy. And pretty much the state of Hawaii, and even more specifically, the island of Kauai, they've mastered this. They're almost 100%, like they're really getting towards 100% renewable. And, from a long-term perspective, what does that mean? Your GDP is based on imports and exports. And if you can reduce your imports, fossil fuels, and, you're affecting your GDP. If you can reduce the cost of every household, like their cost of energy, then they're gonna have more discretionary income to go out, to go to the bars, to shop for food, to buy clothes. So, even investors, when they come in, that's the first thing that they ask. So this community is really looking at short-term and long-term options. And really, we also got to get we really have to get this energy situation under wraps, because even the governor mentioned it to the board, it cannot, the solution cannot just be to increase rates, right? We need to think better. And, it's unfortunate, but we're kind of behind in our region. The Republic of Palau is ahead of us. Guam is ahead of us. But what can we do? Being behind is we can learn from all their mistakes in terms of implementation, right? So for example, Guam did a whole bunch of, did a solar farm. But what did Hawaii learn from that? It's actually faster. You can improve your economic situation in terms of energy a lot faster by going to rooftop solar and microgrids and incentivizing your businesses and residential homeowners to get this. So I'm sorry, I'm also passionate about energy. We really need to solve that problem, but just to put into perspective.
And I think, Brad, your question was, what are these things that we can do? That was part of the reason that Senator Manny and Senate President Dennis asked me to be part of this, is because I talk to, when you own a business, you talk to other businesses. Every time you go into a grocery store, the first question somebody will ask, how's business? How's business? How's business? So you keep getting that back and forth. And they asked me to be part of this to get the opinions, get the questions from the business people. Travis, just go out and ask these people, if you had to pick one or two things that you think could change your business immediately, and not only to survive, but thrive in this, what would that be? So my question to everybody out here is, if you're a business owner or a business owner and people are struggling, if there was one thing you could change that you think could immediately impact your business, what is it? Because we don't know. The three of us can sit here and have a conversation, and we might not even be thinking of what somebody that owns a clothing store has.
I love this. Here's a comment came in from John William. Good morning, by the way, John. It says, off the grid, but still getting charged to be customers. Imagine going to Blue Sky and seeing an extra $7 for a customer fee.
Right.
Versus UC.
When you look at Congressman Aldan, when he puts his post out on Facebook with his bill, he's all on solar, but he's still got a $57 service charge for his water electricity.
That's wild.
His bill is still $85, and he's 100% solar.
Well, not to discount that, although everybody should get a discount on that. But the thing about that is, that water doesn't pump itself, right? They got to pay to pump that water out of the thing, and the amount that they're charging themselves for utilities, the rate for that is crazy. Because most of the wells that we have are those deep water wells, 600 feet. You got to pump that water out and get it up to the reservoirs, and it's got some of the people you live up on the hill, they got to push that up the hill. So I get it. I do understand part of it, but it is tough to stomach when you see that kind of a fee on there for
when your water bill's $10 and your service charge is $95.
Yes, it's crazy. It's difficult to see that. Now, the other thing that we see is that they just met and they want to raise the rate for power.
I saw that.
So at some point, you got to wonder, what are we doing with our power? Are we doing the right thing? And hopefully the guys that we got in the board at CUC want to get something done. But I know that we've also got the guys from the PUTC who are trying to bring it back to normalcy.
Even when we talk about that, okay, so when it's an island-wide problem, our utility rates, right? And everybody knows it, every household knows it, everything. What my thing is what I think some people don't understand sometimes, is that when you're a small business paying these things, every cent of what you make for profit goes to that. So when you think about money that you're making, that you should be making, that you can reinvest in your business, reinvest in your employees, right now is going to utilities. When I'm hearing about some of the other restaurants or the grocery stores, I can't even imagine what some of the grocery stores pay. But, every time I walk down the aisle, I don't know about you guys, but I shut their freezers for them to make sure they're not wasting electricity. But I always think that, I'm hearing some of the bars or restaurants or stores that are paying $1,500 to $3,000 a month for their air conditioners and for their beer chillers and for their stuff. That's all their profit. A lot of times that is what would make a paycheck. You know, that's huge.
Well, that's why I'm going to start my new business venture. It's called Lukewarm Bar. You can just come in, get a lukewarm beer and lukewarm water, lukewarm everything. Nothing's going to be refrigerated, and we'll keep the doors open for you.
And right on that, when you think about sometimes you go into a store or you go into a bar or you go into a restaurant, and it's a little bit warmer than you would like, or it's a little bit uncomfortable. Well, what you're finding is people are turning their air conditioners up, the temperature's higher on it, and they're unplugging their coolers at night. You know, like people might unplug their beer coolers just to try and save a little bit of energy. I leave mine plugged in 24 hours a day because I might have a customer that wants ice cold beer at 7 a.m. I don't know.
I can find out who's doing it right away. When I go in and I grab like a chocolate bar, if it's squishy, I'm like, all right, it was hot in here last night. They definitely don't keep this stuff cold.
And I can't hold that against any business. You have to do whatever you have to do to survive. It's just that, you know, every customer experience, if somebody says, I'm not going back in there because of this, well, that's the real reason. It's not that they're wanting warm chocolate.
Hey,
right?
Senate President's in there. He says, hey, Brad, you're absolutely correct. Some issues are indeed a matter of policy calls rather than legislation. The committee is charged with bridging that gap and proactively engaging with the agencies and business entities involved. Synergism among leaders is vital to our success. That's Senate President Dennis Mendiola in the comments. So thank you, Senate President, for jumping in. And by the way, let you guys know, the phone lines are still open too, 789-2323, 789-2323. So you guys are always able to join the show. And, you know, you guys you're actively going out and speaking to businesses. You want to find stuff out. Do you want people to reach out to you directly, and how do you want them to do that?
I think I've never been sure what was easiest. I know that coming on the show, today's our rollout day. So maybe people can give us ideas. I mean, we need help with multiple levels of this thing, but I said, I can give out my cell phone number, put me on WhatsApp and send me a WhatsApp chat. And just a simple, let me know what your question is. And then I'll document it down. You can go on Last Shot email or on Last Shot Facebook page. Last Shot Bar email is lastshotbarsaipan@gmail.
Okay. Last Shot Bar
Saipan
at gmail. Okay.
And also, I've asked my brother-in-law, Kiyoshi Cody, I think he's listening this morning, or he was going to, that he wants to put this out on the Facebook page of Department of Commerce as well. He was going to give some people some heads up that it was coming. But we just have to figure out what the best mediums to get this out there are, so as many people that we can respond and give us these questions. And I'm sure Brad doesn't mind getting a comment on here, and he can forward it to me or whatever that is. I don't care how we get it, as long as we get it.
Another one says, thank you, Senator Castro, of course it goes up. Thank you, Senator Castro and Travis, for the work that you're doing to improve things for everyone in the CNMI. That came from Tamara Hunter. And, you know, a lot of folks saying thanks for doing this, saying good morning in the comments as well. You know, just glad that you guys are addressing this. And John, he said, thank you for prescribing. Yeah, that's great. I love it. Anyway, so really some real common sense approaches to making stuff happen. I mean, that's what you guys are doing right now. And it seems like you're not just saying that you have all the answers, you have a lot of them, but you want them, the issues to come from the people who are out there who are experiencing them too.
When you think about myself, I mean, I have Last Shot Bar. I know my problems, my issues, but I don't know Brad NMI News Services issues. I don't know Derek at Lottie Belt's issues. I don't know Donna at Paradise Dental's issues. We all have different businesses, so we all see things differently. And I don't think it's fair just to ask one group, right? Because maybe bar owners have the same, maybe grocery stores have the same, but now we're looking at everybody as an island. What do we do and how do we fix this? And I mean, this is long-term stuff. This is stuff to keep us alive tomorrow and to keep us alive for 10 more years. That's the goal.
You know, the thing I love about this is that, you know, so some people complain about stuff, and because they think that that's their outlet, that's the way they release their steam, or that's the way they communicate to the world. I can't believe this is the problem and all that, but you guys aren't doing that. You are complaining about the process, but you're saying you're just doing that so you can identify it, so you guys can actually make a change about it and actually do something about it. And that's what the system is supposed to be about. Like, that's how it should work. You guys are identifying issues within our own bureaucracy that you can just kind of take some of that red tape, just cut it out. Like, the stuff is just, it's a bramble of red tape.
Well, and I asked the senator too, I said, I think what our goal here is, if we get 100 businesses responding, or 1,000, whatever that is, maybe we get 1,000 different things, or maybe we get 600 of the same thing. That way we know that throughout all businesses, there's common denominators with every single one of us. And it's not about me, it's not about Brad, it's not about Derek, it's about all of us, right? So if we all have the same issues, if 600 people respond and they all have one thing, man, let's attack that and get that changed as soon as possible.
And what people don't realize is actually that just makes change easier. Like, there's a lot of people that, like, would voice their frustrations on social media and everything, but when you sit down with them, it's like, hey, we can actually work on this. What are your recommendations? And in many cases, especially like with, speaking with members of the Senate, we're on the same page. But whether our community or business owners or residents, whether they realize it, the bill or any change is stronger, when they voice their concerns. Because there's, 9 in the Senate, and there's way more in the House. And when a bill gets introduced and it has the backing of the community, or, it's going to go through.
So one of the other things I love about this is how my childlike mind works, my idealistic mind works about it, where we're looking at guys who are, it doesn't matter, like in the Senate itself, people who are in different parties working together to make stuff happen, not putting yourself in a silo because of some political stuff or just because of titles of parties and stuff like that. You guys are working together because you live in the same place to get something accomplished. It's about damn time. I mean, having you guys, now I'm not saying like you guys weren't doing it right the first time, but like, how much have we heard about like folks getting separated on this stuff? You guys are working together because you care about the community and you care about working together to make something happen instead of worrying about who's wearing what color when it comes down to campaign season time. I love it, dude. I can't tell you how great it is to see it. And because when I look at you guys, I don't look at you guys like you're part of a party or something like that. I just see you guys as our elected leaders, folks that we look up to, folks that we are entrusting the future of our Commonwealth in your hands. And seeing you guys doing stuff like this, man, it's great. It's inspiring to me because now I can see that people are working to get something done. You guys are right now actively saying, we're doing something. Help us do this.
I want to share, recently Senator Donald introduced, it's like a cottage kitchen bill, so we can get more people involved, or get more people, like let's say they wanted to open up either a catering or like some kind of snack bar. So we're kind of like right-sizing the regulations to make that more available to everyone. So like someone like, let's say Last Shot Bar, like, they don't need to have a whole full set of equipment. Like what's the minimum needed to be sanitary and to be able to offer, food in his bar, right? So that just made it through the Senate. And that's another way of helping increase, helping our people get more entrepreneurial.
And I think, wasn't that the part of it when we had a meeting at Great Harvest last Sunday. And I think that was one of the things that, it didn't shock me, but I didn't think about it, was when I brought up the food handlers or any of these type things, right away you said, man, that might go right on this bill that we're already proposing.
Yeah.
And he said, I think this fits that. And there might already be stuff that they are proposing that's at that point that they can add in some of this. So it just kind of tails right onto it. So it's not like we're starting a whole new thing. They've already been in process and can just add on.
So it's like related diversification, right? So you're in that type of space. Now you can improve your products and services based on this law or this soon, hopefully, the governor signs it. This bill that's going to be hopefully a law. I just think about it. There's a lot of the regulations that we've done over the years that kind of like hurt. It made it more costly to get into business activity. And, this one year when I visited Thailand and I saw like the night markets and the amount of Thai people that are involved, a simple truck, they're able to sell like from their food truck, from a small stand, and it's happening, right? So, of course, if you're a tourist, you're gonna want to go back because you come to Thailand and you're able to experience Thailand, not just in the hotel, right? So we need to have more activity outside of the hotel, and we need to involve our community to make it more easy. We have Liberation Day, but it's 3 days. It's not like it used to be where it was like a whole time. We should have more night markets, but at the end of the day, we can't get there if the cost for doing business is so high.
That's what I kind of thought when you put out the advertising for Liberation or anything that was happening down here before, and a lot of the restaurants came back to me and said, man, we can't even afford to be in this anymore.
Oh yeah, they got really expensive.
Yeah, and it's not a knock to anybody because I know there's a cost to doing business, right? But when people are telling you we can't afford to be there, and then when you see each event that goes on and it's the same few vendors that go to each event, man, everybody's the smaller ones are saying I just can't do it because that means all my profit is going to pay for my booth.
Yeah, but we just got a comment come in from Curtis Stanko. It says, as a small business owner, I'm amazed by the support that's out there. The good senator triggers me when he says the word passionate. Such a powerful word when you are in business. Absolutely love it. Karen Decker just came in. She's like, yeah, the cost of doing business is terrible. And you guys, you're nailing it. You're really hitting it. And this is something that people, clearly identify with. I mean, you guys you're going in the right direction.
So I just wanted to share something. Like there's recently over the weekend, like regulations, they changed. Before, if you wanted to go to the beach, you just go to the beach. Now we have regulations in place where if you have if you have more than 5 pop-up tents or you have a full-on 20 by 40, you have to apply for a permit. So I'm not saying that, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Parks and Rec. Amazing work, despite the limited resources they're able to cover. But again, it's not an attack on the agency. It's not even an attack. It's looking at the process. Is that the right place to get the revenue to support, right? And so the main reason why we have those permitting fees is so that you can have the operational revenue to clean up after people.
Yeah.
Right? Because people have, not everyone, but there's a lot of people out there that are relying on Parks and Rec. They'll just leave their trash by the tree and say, oh, Parks and Rec will come and pick it up.
Oh, gosh.
Right? So it's a culture that is not even, historically, it's not our culture as a people. But it's convenience that became culture because the government has been providing that type of service, so people are used to that. But it's a cost.
So let me jump in just for a second. First of all, I didn't know that you have to pay for a permit to get a 25-40 tent to pop it up over at a beach somewhere. First time I heard of it, right?
It's been a law for
still
a
never heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where when you're thinking about going to the beach that all of a sudden there's no, where would you know that, right? Anyway, so I don't know it, but now I do. The other one is if they're trying to raise funds to get cleaned up, I would say you change the rules to say you got to take your own crap with you, or if you pay for a fee,
Right.
Parks and Rec will come and pick it up. Change that fee from having that to make sure that you can get your stuff picked up.
Or we just passed the Recycling Act of 1999 bill that I introduced, which basically will solve a lot of this cost with littering.
Yes.
Pretty much what happens is just like every other state, when you buy a beverage container, which is 90% of the waste that's the litter is beverage containers, whether it's alcohol or non-alcohol. If that bill passes, basically what it's gonna do is it's gonna charge an advanced disposal fee, so you get that money up front. If someone just throws their can in the jungle, they just basically threw away 10 cents, and the person that picks it up and redeems it is gonna get that 10 cents. It's already been proven, again, by the grants office. They did a grant program, the 555, 511. So it's happening. People are actually picking up, these cans and bottles.
You know what? That's actually immediately impacted me in the way of, since that's come back out, now April, everybody knows April up at Last Shot, she saves every single bottle, every single can, every single water bottle. What that did immediately was she's now hauling that home and then taking that into recycling every week or whenever she does it. But what that did was reduce my trash. And then I used Patrick over at Saipan's Hill, trash removal.
Yeah.
He actually came in last week and gave Cheyenne money back. When I went to pay my bill, he said, you know what, you're not generating as much trash anymore. And part of it is because business was slow, but the other part is 80% of my trash was glass, plastic, and aluminum.
No kidding.
I said, so that immediately impacted my business, where it went from $100 a month, where he said, man, I'm going to drop that because you just simply don't have enough trash for me to.
So not only that, if that becomes law, the prices are going to go down, because no longer we can look into repealing some of these excise taxes, right? And, there's this whole thing about we have to get the prices down. And that's one of the first places you can do it, by reducing some of those. If you can reduce the price per case by $5, then more people, it's more convenient to just buy at your store. You don't have to do what a lot of people are doing, which is calling their cousin and buying sodas at the base or alcohol at the base. That's not what the base or the exchange was designed for. It's designed for immediate service members. It's not designed to be a wholesale of a beverage, right? And that's actually hurting our economy, because everything that's purchased there is non-tax. Right?
Or it's really helping recruiting numbers.
Yeah, right.
But what I'm saying is, back to the numbers, right? Like, let's say you bought all of that, but then it gets thrown into the jungle. So then, the accountability of the resources to take care of that waste is not accounted for.
I'm a big fan of it. Anything that's going to help keep the beaches cleaner and be smart about it. I mean, I think it's just a great deal. And I've seen it when that program was happening. I saw, people. In fact, when we had a get together about a month ago at the beach, people said not to throw your stuff out there because, like in the trash, like people who weren't collecting or whatever, said at least leave your cans and bottles on the ground so that the guys who are going around jumping through the dumpsters can actually just take them off the ground, right? Just to be nicer to them. I'm like, oh, you guys are taking it to a whole nother level.
I mean, the difference is, it used to be like a truckload of cans would be like $25 or $20. Now a truckload of cans, you're looking at $300 to $400 possibly.
Oh yeah,
maybe more.
And it's an actual side hustle, right? And I think that's great that they're doing that. And I want to go back just one section when you're talking about the agencies, and this not designed to hurt agencies. It's not designed to decrease revenue. I think we invite agencies to send in their ideas to us, because you guys that work at the agencies, I think you probably see where things could be more streamlined, or you see things that could help other people. Hey, bring it on. We want to hear from everybody. This is not just it kind of is a small business thing, but it's an island thing, right? It's everybody pitch in to figure out how we all make this, because it's about everybody's survival, not just mine and yours.
Well, that's great. We got folks, someone said, half a day, Brad. Buenas, Senator Manny. What's up, Travis? It's Carmen just saying hey to you guys. Luisa's in Korea.
Carmen.
Says, annyeonghaseyo. And a lot of folks are watching this, and I love this. Bruce Camacho, he's like, we need that recycling bill also for grant programs. So a lot of folks, you guys are touching a lot of needs that people are talking about. So
it's things that simple, too, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy that can't get done. How simple is it to save your aluminum cans, right?
Well, it sounds like
it changes everything.
People are already on board for wanting to help out. So again, if people want to get involved or they want to share some stuff, who do they contact? What do they do?
I think, again, you can send an email to the Last Shot Bar email. Brad can put it up there. I'll give my phone number out. I mean, half the island probably has it already anyways. 670-789-6629.
Okay.
That is my cell phone number, and you can just send me a WhatsApp and send me your what can we do to change your business today, tomorrow, next week.
And just for the general public, the CNMI legislature, NMI legislature webpage, cnmileg.net. You can actually contact not just your senators, but also your House of Representatives. There's a comment portion. Any concerns you have, there's a chairman for each subject area that's of concern. My email, I do have a legislature email, but my personal email, MannyGregoryTenorio-Castro@gmail.com. And the reason why I'm giving my personal email is because it has more space than my government email.
And I actually put it out on the Last Shot Facebook page this morning, too, so if people want to respond on that.
You have the longest email. Can you tell us again?
It's just my full name, MannyGregoryTenorio-Castro@gmail.com.
Okay. That is a short email. All right, so I'll put that in there, too, to go with all the other ones here. 1 second. Where you guys can do that. Yeah, people are definitely interested. Peeling Gazetmo, he's from Saipan. He's actually messaging from Guam. He says, good morning, you hot and sexy dudes and gals of our CNMI. Absolutely love it. All right, let me put this one in here. So what's next for you guys now?
I don't know that we've talked about what's next. My next thing is probably going to be, I probably sent out to maybe 50 or 60 people this morning to invite to watch the show this morning to kind of kick this off. My next follow-up is going to be kind of doing the same thing. I'm going to be on the Last Shot Facebook page asking for these things. I'm going to be on my WhatsApp. I'm going to be asking for these things, and then I got to put it together. And we've said we have no idea. Ultimately, it would be great if we could have a list of things by the end of this week. We don't know how long this is going to take. We want people to respond. That's why we're going to ask every single person, come on, respond, tell us so we can get this going. And as we get it, and I'm going to push it right through to the senators, and let's have production here, right?
Right.
That's the goal.
Well,
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Well, it is. It seems like the time for talking is done.
Over.
The time for action is now, and that's where this is the part that we chatted about. Hearing it from you, and more about like the need for it, and it's not about opportunity. It's about frustration and inaction and wanting something to happen. And this is it. We're doing something. I don't know what it is. And then you guys got together, had these conversations, and came up with this great idea to make stuff move.
Thanks to Senate President Dennis and Senator Manny for kind of spearheading this thing. And I would actually ask any other small businesses that want to be involved, get a hold of me, and we can work on this together. I'm just one person here.
Well, it's two now.
Dude, you're
building an army?
Yeah, let's build the army.
That's it. All right. Anything else you guys want to share?
So I just wanted to, you asked what's next. I actually have a bill that's currently with legal counsel. It's a bill to reduce the size of the legislature.
Wow.
A lot of people, we hear a lot of comments that's what a good amount of people want. But I myself, I believe in a bicameral system. But from an operational standpoint, I see where the challenge is when you're having, like, we're such a small island, but you have double the work, because let's say we have an issue, we have a bill, it's introduced from the Senate side, it goes to committee, that's a process, it can take 6 months on the Senate side, then let's say it passes, it goes to the House, the same process happens again, but from the House side. So sometimes it can be 3 months, sometimes it can be a month, it might take 6 months, then you have a whole year for one bill, right? So I just want the people to understand, like, that because of the way our covenant was written, it's possible, but it's not easy, right? So I've spoken to the Senate President, and we're talking about reducing costs, right-sizing the government, right? So if we're gonna right-size the government, we need to start from our branch. Mm-hmm. Even though we're not the most expensive branch, we're not the deficit spenders, most of the money that the legislature gets goes back directly to the community, whether it's funerals or whatever programs that people request. However, as like my background, I'm an MBA major, so operations management, that's my thing, operational efficiency. The process in getting change, because it's 2 branches and there's a lot of us. For some people, they might say it's not, because it's a one-to-one, mm-hmm. style. But the only other jurisdictions that have switched to a unicameral is the state of Nebraska, and with Guam, it's been unicameral ever since. But I just look at Guam and see how fast they're able to get things done, mm-hmm. Because it's just one, right? So just to get the people to understand the process of if we were to do that, first we would introduce a bill in the legislature or popular initiative. Those are the options. And then once those passes, that passes, we also have to, because it's embedded into the covenant, and in speaking with our U.S. Congress has to agree with this.
Wow.
So it's gonna go there, and this is not the first time. Other former legislators have tried this, but we have to practice what we preach. And if we say we're gonna right-size and synergize and try to make this, we should start from in-house first. It's not something that can be accomplished, I would say. I don't think it's gonna be accomplished in 4 years or whatever, but if the bill's introduced, at least we started that leg. But ultimately, it's up to the people to decide.
I like the idea of a unicameral legislature. I didn't at first. So much of the time I think about it, but because it does seem like we have an awful lot of process that goes through everything, and it's great if you're trying to be very cautious about it. But my goodness, we have so many people in so many different spots. The amount of money gets spent on elections, the amount of money that gets spent on admin and staffs and duplicative functions. Like, I don't think it's a bad idea. The only thing I'm nervous about a little bit, the only thing that would hold me back from that is to make sure that folks from Rhoda and the folks from Tinian still get their voices heard, and that they still matter, that they don't get rolled over. Like, I in my heart of hearts, I think that the folks in a unicameral legislature wouldn't let the fruits of Rhoda and Tinian wither on the vine, right? I would like to think that would never happen.
So by design with the bill that's going to be pre-filed, the people on Rhoda and Tinian will have to vote for all the senators. So, if one senator is acting up on Saipan and is not friendly to the neighboring islands, then he'll probably get voted out from the Rhoda or Tinian voters. Mm-hmm. So that way, I love that community, the whole, it's no longer a Saipan versus Tinian or Saipan Rhoda versus Saipan kind of mentality. It's a CNMI.
Does that run the risk I mean, I guess it runs the risk of anything, right? But I mean, like, could that mean that you end up, well, no, it would balance it out because of the voters from Rota and Tinian, but there wouldn't be Rota senators anymore, and Tinian senators and Saipan senators. It would just be CNMI senators, is what you're saying? Am I
Right,
getting that
but
right?
there still would be, like, there's a pool that each district gets, but the whole CNMI is voting for that.
For all of them. Oh, wow. Okay, so there you go. So there has to be somebody from a Rota pool. There has to be somebody from a Tinian pool, and there has to be someone from a Saipan pool. But the whole electorate is the one that chooses.
Yeah.
I like it. And the mayors will still be the mayors, right? So you still get your hometown mayor and all that stuff, and you still are going to get it. I like it. I can see how people could... I mean, I try to see both sides of everything, right? So I can see how people could be a little bit resistant to that, but I think that might be the best way forward to take care of this kind of stuff. Enoch says it's easier to reduce the salary than the personnel. Hey, Enoch, I'm with you, except for you got to see how many, what the salary is for our elected officials. For our representatives and senators, was it $32,000?
Yep.
It is, I think, criminal that our lawmakers get paid so little for such an important job, and some people are saying, they're not. No. They spend $32,000 on that. Like, I think the first thing, I would like to see you guys reduce a lot of the costs for other stuff that you guys got going on, but I think all of you, it should be easy, double what you're making, and then you reduce the costs elsewhere, like. We won't go into the weeds on it, but like the vehicle stuff, I like the subsistence allowance. I would like to see that changed a little bit too, and some of the other stuff. But again, that's more for another conversation. I mean, that's not you guys, but I think that once you guys got the pay that you would have, that opens things up and makes everything else easier. Like. Especially even like vehicles for each one of the senators and each one of the representatives and how that would go. I think there's a massive cost reduction that could go in there. And then, the other one is, boy, I'll tell you what, if you guys could propose some legislation, I know you don't want to be too hands-on with regulatory stuff, but vehicle leases out here drive me nuts because they're not real leases. It's basically a glorified rental. There's no residual at the end that's agreed upon by both parties. And so instead of saving money on a lease, you guys actually spend more money on a lease.
So I just wanted to throw a monkey wrench into that. To be honest, just the way all the processing is, I actually would support each agency like having more leases than government-owned vehicles. Why? Because with the lease vehicle, all the maintenance is done by the company. So you look at all these government vehicles, you see them like they're still new. Like some of these vehicles actually can last 20 years longer, but because like the process of maintenance and budgeting, like let's say there's a mechanical problem with your car, you have to wait for the PO to clear. Mm-hmm. And that car is out of commission for a while, but I don't know. I just think we would save more with more leases, and then at the same time, you cannot abuse the vehicle.
Well, okay. Well, then, so I would take it if you like the leases because it includes the maintenance. So then I could see how maybe the lease price could go up a little bit if the maintenance is included. But the
price needs to be worked on.
Right. Yeah. The price is one. The other one is, does the secretary of so-and-so deserve like an $80,000 SUV? Yeah. I'd say no. There's no reason. They can get it with their salary. They could buy their own real nice car. But if you need a company vehicle, it's not supposed to have spinning rims and moon roofs and all that.
That's still a thing. The spinning rims.
Yeah, it is definitely not that cool anymore.
I just want to cut in there for 1 second too before we go. When we were talking about all the islands participating this morning, I sent the invite out to Mayor Edwin. Mm-hmm. I sent it to Senator Jude. I sent it to Philip Menjol along over in Tinian. So I'm encouraging everybody, every business owner from every island, participate. Send us information back. I also wanted to give a shout out to my boss, Jodina Attow at NM Tech. I've been working there for about 6 weeks now. Absolutely love it. But Jodina has seen, and she actually said, Travis, you're so passionate about this island and so passionate about public school system and so passionate about small business. She said, I support you 100%. Go do what you have to do. Change the island. And I said, I got that support.
I got a better proposal than a salary increase. For someone that got a big salary reduction for taking this job, I would say keep the salary the same, but allow me to keep my old job at the college. Or someone like Travis, who can be working at NMTI but run for office. And, so a lot of, in other states or jurisdictions, the legislators have a full-time job somewhere else.
Yeah.
They only come to session when a session is called.
Yeah.
Right? So that way the expense is also low.
And to kind of add on to that, the reason that I'm working at NM Tech right now is because I had to get a job to keep our business alive.
Isn't that crazy?
That was flat and simple. So I worked 60 hours a week at Last Shot, and now I'm working 40 hours a week at NM Tech, and I'm not afraid of the hard work. I love having my job, but that's kind of the fact. We all have to have that second job.
And we've had this conversation. I've had it with other people too. People who have gotten a second job so they can keep their primary job going, their company open.
Which is our free job.
Yeah, so it's like their side hustle is what's keeping their real passion going. And it used to be the other way around. You would have a job, and then you would start your little side hustle, which was your passion project, right? And that is one of the reasons why you're trying to get this thing over the finish line, and or at least not the finish line, just get this process started.
Yeah, we don't know what the end is. We just want to get the beginning. We want to make sure that we start it, and then we don't quit. I don't know. I don't know if we pick an end date to say we have to have this done by when. I say we start it and just keep it going.
Troubleshooting. That's pretty much what we're doing.
You mentioned just real quick about the salary and stuff like that. I love that idea.
I do too.
One of the things I don't like, though, I don't like that people who have government jobs are forced to take a leave of absence for 3 months to run for office. I feel like what that ends up doing, it discourages people from being able to run, and it economically pulls people out. Like people who would otherwise be passionate about it and wanting to run for office, well, they can't afford to take a 3-month leave of absence because, well, how many regular people can? I know there's going to be a lot of people on here, well, if you would just manage your finances. No, dude, come on. Be real. Think about the amount of people who are, think about the salaries that are here, think about people's who are on subsistence, all that kind of stuff. To say something like that that's somebody who doesn't understand what's really happening in the Commonwealth. If you have to take a leave of absence for 90 days in order for you to run for office, it is unfair. I feel like that should be something that we wipe out completely.
So, when I first ran for office, it's actually, for those people that know me, they know I'm a workaholic at NMC, so I had so much annual leave. Mm-hmm. I rarely took vacation. And so it's actually all that annual leave that kind of kept me for that period. That was able to hold me like financially and pay for all the expenses for that 3-month period. But the reason why I'd like to see this is just because we have so much capacity out there. Right, but that's the main challenge is, one, they don't want to leave their passion, like their job, right? Like with me, I still would want to be at NMC, but it's just the challenges. CNMI-wide was so bad. I was like, okay, we gotta, we have to fix this.
But it only affects people in the public
Government
sector, right?
Yeah.
Like I could have this as my full-time job, and I could run for office, and I would probably lose. But I would still, if I did get elected, I could still do this full-time and be a full-time senator and be a full-time representative because it's private. It's like discriminatory against the folks from the government. And again, who's really going to run for that job? It's local people. It's a local law that really goes against local folks.
You think you would lose? Maybe you might not.
No. Yeah, don't. My wife, by the way,
Trying to
already
recruit.
hates this. My wife already hates this conversation. She told me that that's a red line I'm not allowed to cross.
And the unfortunate part about being in this type of career is that the downside is too many people will see you as they won't see you as the same person. The bigger community will see you as an elected official or a politician, and that's the only downside. And so that's going to be hard for someone like you. It's like all in the community, but hey, we need help. To be honest,
I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's part of the reason why we wanted to. I'm looking into kind of, if possible, to remove that type of barrier, because we have so much capacity.
But you know what else I think then can happen off of something like this is get the support of all the business owners. Because to me, I've always said, and Brad, you and I have talked about it a million times, one person gets nothing done, but all of us get something done. If you get all the business owners behind you and all the people that should say, let these people have a second job, let them have a job on top of being a senator, on top of being a legislator, man, they can't say no to everybody saying it at once, right? And this has no party line. That is straight across the board.
Well, in the mainland, a lot of those representatives and senators, they have real law firms and everything. They have full-time jobs already.
Yeah.
And they now, if your company tells you, hey, can you take a leave of absence while you're running? That's up to that company, right?
Sure.
But to mandate that, it's as if you're saying to the people that are running for office that we don't trust you to do your job anymore while you're running for office. It just doesn't seem right to me.
I think that the concern is like the conflict of interest, or if you work for NMC or PSS, you're gonna just don't vote on anything related to that. But another thing I wanted to look into is like retirees. We don't have a retirement fund anymore. Retirement fund, it's a settlement fund. So that double dipping clause, like with the CW issue, we have some retirees out there that are really skilled. And I'm not saying they should maybe go back into the workforce, but go back into teaching. Travis is not a retiree, but I tried. When I heard that he was teaching at NMTI, I was really happy, because like someone as credentialed in that profession, from the career technical aspect, those are the kind of people that we need to be getting in career technical programs. I'm not being discriminatory, but because I'm a product of a career technical program. I studied manufacturing engineering, and my instructor when I was at this charter school was a retired Boeing engineer. So that makes sense, having a career technical person teach career technical students rather than an academic person teaching career technical, right? So a lot of capacity out there. We just have, again, removing the barriers to get people gainfully employed. And we don't want to see, this CW program is going to end in a few years, 3 years. That's coming up soon. So we have to figure this out, because I'm not looking for the price of building a house to get up to $600,000, $700,000 for a one bedroom. Right now it's at $250,000 for a one bedroom house.
That's insane, right?
In the 90s, it was $60,000.
Yep.
So.
My parents, well, I mean, we're going to talk about my day movies cost a nickel. Yeah. But some more folks, Karen rumped in and she said, hey, the question is, why does it, this goes to earlier, why does it take 1 million days to get a PO approved? How can we speed up that process?
First of all, PO is supposed to be like charging at 30, but it's like charging at 2 years. We got to end that. P-cards, I think P-cards are a better way for business activity, especially government. It's just been because one person abused it, end of story for the rest.
And that was at the crux of it. I was going to say, isn't it just because of that one person that had used millions?
Took me 5 days last week to get 5 gallons of paint. Just waiting on the paperwork that goes along with it.
So that is the math. So it's
Right.
1 day per gallon. Is basically it.
That's what it takes.
I mean, it's every agency is different. Like some agencies are faster. You know, when I worked at the college has its own finance office. So the process for appeal there was quicker because like it just goes from expenditure to fund certification, CFO, and procurement. Like 4 people. For the central government, sometimes it's like 6 people. Like the process, and we just, again, you have to, this person doesn't need to sign appeal, and including the governor. Like the governor shouldn't have to sign certain things because that's why you have cabinet members, whether it's a NOPA, like let's say someone's working, or even the special assistant for administration. Like the expenditure authority would know more about that job and the duties over the special assistant for administration, or, you know, like it's a little too much micromanagement in some of our process. But back to the POs, I think the question is that the best route for payment? I'm a bigger fan of the P cards, but making sure that it's the accountability is there. So for example, if you're a director for Fish and Wildlife, you get this P card, only you can sign.
Correct.
Only you can use it. So that way, if anything goes wrong, it's you. You're not gonna be like passing it to your staff and signing it out on a log sheet. Like that's.
I feel like I should have brought the
perfunctory
last shot tower.
Perfunctory.
I should have brought the last shot tower of margaritas this morning.
So
we're doing an offshoot of Sip Happens.
This is absolutely it.
The benefit of that, again, the business gets its cash like right there. You know, so they can pay their taxes like within the month. Our month-to-month BGR process, like that, you know, I don't have a business anymore. I had to give that up, being an elected official. But you know, you don't even, especially for a business like, let's say, Last Shot, where you have a lot of transactions. So you don't have that much time to reconcile all your costs and everything. I mean, some people might say yes, but you know, like, I feel like one month. I don't think it's that case for a lot of places.
Is that a law that our elected officials can't have a business at all?
No, it's just like I chose to because my business was consulting, and specifically, it was consulting.
That would be like conflicting and all that kind of stuff.
So it was safer to.
That makes sense. I'm like, wait a minute, are we dealing out like all kinds of people who would make great elected leaders?
I did do Airbnbs for a while, or not Airbnbs, but house rentals. But it's not really a good time.
Ask the hotels. Yeah, they got the same thing. Well, you guys. Right. You guys have given us a ton of stuff to consider for sure, and like I don't know how much time you guys have this morning, but like
I got to go to work. I know that.
Yeah, you guys have real world stuff to handle. So I want to say thank you to you guys for coming in and talking about this, and thanks for making yourselves available not just to like our viewers but to the community in general for trying to get some of this stuff done. We've got the contact information in the comment section a couple of times so you guys are able to find it. Just for kicks, I'll put it up there again right now. So it's the latest comment there. There it goes. Look at the magic of the interwebs. And so it's on there. If you guys are watching on any of the other channels, we just put that on the NMI News Service Facebook channel for the comments. So, by the way, if you haven't already, please follow the page. And, by the way, just real quick before we go, our website launches this week. So we'll be able to put that kind of stuff on there, too. So when you guys have more developments on this kind of stuff, we could post it up there. So let us know.
Thank you so much, Brad, and thank you, Brad. Senator. Thank you, Senate President Dennis, also. Yeah,
any last shout-outs or acknowledgments or anything, last parting words?
Just a shout-out to our community and everyone, working hard to take care of business. And also shout-out to my colleagues up at the Hill.
I say, and Brad, this is something that I've said, you and I have said a million times. We can all sit down and do nothing and expect nothing, or we can all stand up and do something and then expect something. I'm going to stand up and expect something, and I'm going to hold myself and everybody else accountable for what we're doing.
I'm going to add to that. Abe Lincoln's quote, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." So, from an individual perspective and from a community perspective, we have to have that mindset. Let's not wait for things to...
Yeah, we can't wait anymore.
Take action.
All right. Well, thank you. Words of wisdom from Senator Manny and Senator would-be Travis, I guess, one day. I want to say thanks to both of you for joining us in studio today to talk about this stuff and trying to make some stuff happen here in the Commonwealth. And we're just thankful that we got folks like you in the community doing stuff like that. All right, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we'll have the latest update for the news, and we'll give you a little update about what's happening with our little leaguers out there in Korea and all of our other athletes who are representing in the mini games out there in Palau. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical-grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician, who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
After a military operation. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. President Trump says the military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities was highly effective.
President Trump said on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures he doesn't believe that Iran's nuclear program survived the assault of the bunker buster bombs dropped on their locations. He also said he didn't think it was likely that any enriched uranium was moved before the sites were hit.
It's a very hard thing to do. Plus, we didn't give much notice because they didn't know we were coming until just, then. And nobody thought we'd go after that site because everybody said that site is impenetrable.
The president added he doesn't think Iran will resume its nuclear ambitions because it has to rebuild what was, as he put it, obliterated. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A North Carolina GOP senator dropping his re-election bid after opposing President Trump's big spending and tax cut bill.
Tom Tillis did not always align with President Trump. His retirement announcement triggered a shockwave on Capitol Hill. Tillis was one of 2 Republicans who voted against starting debate on the bill last night. President Trump lit up Tillis. He said Tillis was making a, quote, big mistake opposing the bill. He then threatened to primary Tillis. Tillis worried about health care provisions in the bill, but even other Republicans from North Carolina see the bill differently from Tillis. Greg Murphy is a doctor.
The last thing as a physician I want to do is hurt a system that is already hurting as it is. But I also want to get back to the fact that there really are some things within the system as it is right now that are ridiculous and need to go away.
Democrats believe they can weaponize the big, beautiful bill against vulnerable Republicans.
Fox's Chad Pergram. Meanwhile, debate on the Senate floor is expected to continue into the night on that bill. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy podcast. I hope you will join me every Tuesday and Thursday as we navigate life together and hopefully find ourselves a little bit better on the other side.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
The Democratic candidate in New York City's mayoral race, who is a self-described Democratic socialist, reveals some of his ideas about police reform.
Zohran Mamdani has taken some scrutiny for those past defund the NYPD comments and what some call an 11th hour reversal when this year he called the NYPD critical while arguing rank and file cops don't want to deal with mental health issues. So he's proposed replacing traditional policing roles with community-based interventions and mental health outreach and a new Department of Community Safety separate from the NYPD. He's also said he'd eliminate the NYPD Strategic Response Group that responds to protest, which happen quite often here in the Big Apple.
Fox's CB Cotton. Federal authorities say they have busted a human smuggling hub tied to a national security threat in Los Angeles. Fox's Christina Coleman with more.
2 people were arrested 2 days ago by federal authorities. And earlier this week, 7 Iranian nationals were arrested at the very same address, including individuals on the FBI terror watch list and associates of an Iranian human trafficking network, according to Customs and Border Protection. CBP says this location has repeatedly been used to harbor illegals linked to terrorism. CBP also released a statement on the matter saying intelligence indicates the smuggling network has trafficked individuals from adversarial regimes, including Iran, posing direct risk to U.S. national security.
ICE arrested 130 Iranian nationals in the U.S. last week alone. British authorities say they've seized nearly 2.5 metric tons of cocaine aboard a ship arriving in England from Panama. Its estimated value is over $130 million. It is the 6th largest cocaine seizure on record. That shipment was discovered after an intelligence-led operation. I'm Kathleen Maloney. This is Fox News.
Hey, it's Kennedy, and I am here to save your 4th of July. Our special episode live from Langens in New York City drops on Wednesday, July 2nd. I'm going to be joined by Rosanna Scotto, Dr. Drew Pinsky, Emily Compagno, and Jimmy Fela. Listen and follow at foxnewspodcast.com.
Welcome. Yes, it is an honor to be able to bring the show to you in the comfort and safety of your own home. So thank you so much for tuning in with us this fine evening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. With rhythm and soul in so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around.
That's not great. I love it. I'm telling you, it is. It is just great. That is, believe it or not, that is not anybody from the Detroit scene. That is not Motown itself. That is AI getting us. I've been having a lot of fun with these things. I got to tell you, it's been an absolute blast to do this. So AI giving us all that kind of stuff. I got more of them. Trust me, I got plenty, and the quality just keeps getting better and better. Absolutely love it. Hey, beautiful day outside today. We already told you what we're looking at, and it is going to be a great one. 84 degrees outside right now, but enjoy it while it lasts. Between today and tomorrow, it's going to get a little stormy. How stormy? We're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies. High near 86, so we're getting out there. South winds 9 to 13 miles per hour, but a 50% chance of rain, and that's what they're screaming for us. 50% chance of rain. A day. All right, well, the good news is that over there in Korea, that's not going to be a problem because our juniors and our Major League Baseball players are competing in the Asia Pacific Regional Tournament. And they're going against some of the best ballers in the region. And it's exciting stuff. Today, our majors, that's right, the youngest kids are called the majors. They're going up against New Zealand. And hopefully that's good news for us because New Zealand so far in our pool is 0-3, while the CNMI is 2-1. We're behind Thailand. Thailand is 3-0. Philippines also 2-1, but we hold the tiebreaker because we beat the Philippines. So there's a total of 6 teams in our pool for the majors. You've got Thailand, CNMI, Philippines, New Zealand, American Samoa, and Indonesia. And the CNMI looking pretty good right now. Even if they tie the record with the Philippines, we would advance. Top 2 teams from each pool advance to the playoff stage, and in the playoff stage, the first place team from each pool is going to play against the second place team from the other pool. The winner of those 2 games goes to the championship, and the winner of that goes to the World Series. Holy cow, can you believe it? So in our pool, again, it's New Zealand, Thailand, CNMI, Philippines, American Samoa, and Indonesia. That is Pool B. That's the team that we're in. Total of 12 teams in the tournament. Pool A has Hong Kong, Guam, Taiwan, China, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. South Korea dominating right now. They are 3-0. Hong Kong's in second at 2-1 with Taiwan, who's also 2-1. Guam and China both at 1-2, and Saudi Arabia at 0-3. So that's where you're at right now for the majors. The action yesterday was pretty good. CNMI ended up beating Indonesia. I have a funny story about that game. I'm going to tell you all about it in a minute. But you had Taiwan lost. This is the action yesterday. South Korea ended up knocking off Taiwan. Philippines beat New Zealand. China beat Hong Kong. Thailand beat American Samoa. And Guam beat Saudi Arabia. The CNMI beat Indonesia. So here's my funny story. It is funny. It's embarrassing and funny at the same time. They both can be true. So Indonesia, they wear red jerseys, white pants. Thailand, they wear red jerseys and white pants. And we're getting our feed over there from Korea. Thanks to, for the majors, it's Kyle Kaipap. And for the juniors, it's Luisa Cabrera. Those guys are MVPs for this baseball coverage. So the funny story is yesterday we watched the CNMI lose 11-6 to Indonesia. But that's not what happened. They beat Indonesia 9-5. So what could be happening? How could we have lost to Indonesia? Well, we didn't. What we were doing is watching the same game and doing the play-by-play for the Thailand game. I can't believe it. And we had tons of people watching with us. I'm telling you, it was spirited. It was awesome. We were rooting for that team. We were watching both teams make some great plays and all that stuff. Come on, we can do this. We can come back. We watched the same game. Good times. All I can say is good times, because that's exactly what it was. Oh, my goodness. We all got a good laugh out of it afterwards when we were watching it yesterday. And, boy, I'll tell you what, we can't make that same mistake twice. We could, but it would be terrible. I mean, like, you kidding me? It was so funny. We were just absolutely dying. Anyway, so today we're going to have great coverage of the CNMI when they play New Zealand at 2 o'clock tomorrow Standard Time today. We're going to have that. Now, on the other side of the ball, you've got the juniors. And the juniors got a different scenario because, excuse me, yawning. Now, the juniors ended up losing to Hong Kong. And that's all they've done so far. They're just one game that they've played. And it's exciting stuff. Today, the juniors coming back, and they're going to play against Japan, and that's a tough one. Actually, that's not true. So we ended up starting there. We're 1-1. We beat India in the opener. I'm not sure why they didn't put the results on here, but we showed you guys that game. The CNMI opened up against India. They beat India 35-0. 35-0. Then they came back and played Hong Kong, and it was a good game. I mean, it was a great game. CNMI had the lead for most of the game, all the way up until the 6th inning when Hong Kong came up and scored 4 runs. They were too strong. It was a great game, and again, just little errors. They ended up losing. So now we're 1-1. Today we're playing against Godzilla. I'm telling you, Godzilla, because they are playing against the baddest team possibly in the whole tournament, playing against Japan. If we don't win, we don't advance. And so that's going to happen at 11 o'clock today also. And we're going to have that coverage for you live here on the NMI News Service. If it's got to be live, it's got to be on the NMI. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's how we end up doing it. And how good is that Japanese team? Well, let's talk about this. They ended up beating India 24-0. How good is that Japanese team? The team that just beat us 4-1, Japan beat them 6-0. So it's going to be a good game. They got to pull out all the stops. There is no tomorrow. They have to watch this game, and with everything they got to throw everything we have, the best pitchers, everything. You got to see it, because if you can't beat them, you're not moving on. I know. You got to sell out. You got to throw everything you got at this team, because it doesn't matter if there's nothing to hold back for. There's nothing to hold back for anymore. That's what I was thinking about the game yesterday. When we were playing Hong Kong, it's like we started off with a pitcher on fire. Why pull him? They pulled him early after we took a 1-run lead. I'm like, no. I know there's strategy. There's strategy involved. But really, you got to rest your player for a couple days, fine. Because if you don't play against Japan, bam, like if they got a rust, then you got July 1st, there's no games. And July 2nd is when the playoffs start. So, I mean, it would be no big deal because all your guys would be rested already. That's why I'm saying you throw everything you have at those guys. Like, I mean, like after you beat up on India, right, you throw everything you got against Hong Kong so that you can rest those arms against Japan. So they got the first is off. There's no June 31st. So they're off on the 1st, and then they play on the 2nd. I mean, I think that's what you got to do. I think that's the only strategy, because that's your 2 days. Oh, well. What do you know, Brad? I don't know anything. I know. It's true. It's a true story. I don't know anything. But that's what I was hoping for. So that's what's going on for baseball. So we're going to have the coverage starting at 11 o'clock for our CNMI guys. 11 o'clock, the CNMI is going to play against Japan. And at 2 o'clock tomorrow Standard Time, we're going to be playing on the major side when we go against New Zealand. And there may be a point where we've got both games going on at the same time, because that's just it. Now, you think that's exciting. On the mini game side, here's everything that we've got today, just team-wise, not all the individual things. But for the teams, we got women's volleyball. NMI is going to be playing against Palau today. And then they also have us playing against Tahiti today at the gym. Wow, they got back-to-back games. Wow, that's a tough one. On the softball side, NMI women are going to be taking on Papua New Guinea. And on baseball tonight, NMI versus Palau at Nippon Baseball Stadium. That should be really big. And also tonight on the volleyball side for the men, the Tahiti and the NMI going to be going at it head-to-head. That should be good. Now, all that, though, today, they've got all the swimming is happening. They've got the backstroke, the individual medley for the women and for the men, the 200 backstroke for men and women, 400 freestyle for the men and women, 4x100 freestyle relay for men and women. And then they've got the VAA, the V12s going on. That's Heat 1. Also, all the V12s and the V1s going on for the 500 mixed and the 500 men and women going at it in VAA. Also, the 500 male is going to be happening. What else do we have? All the qualification for wrestling is going to be going on today too. Starting in the morning, you've got men and then a little bit and women. They're all going all the different weight categories. So our NMI guys are going to be going at it, and gals. If we had women wrestlers on the team, they'd be going at it today too. What else is going on? There's more. Yes, all the finals for all that wrestling happening today. You got to be kidding. So we're looking at some medals going out today. Right now, the medal count's at 0 all the way around. Later tonight, going to be more swimming finals happening. We got the backstrokes for the men and women, the 100-meter men and women, the 200-meter for men and women for breaststroke, 400 freestyle for men and women, and the 4x1 for men and women. So should have some results in as early as tonight, and we'll get you those medal counts as well. And it just keeps going. We've got action going every single day from now at least through the 9th. There's going to be nothing but action and results coming out here. It's crazy. Yeah, I'll tell you, Tobot, it was crazy. It did look familiar. I'm like, man, can both of these teams have this amazing third baseman and shortstop combo? No. Thailand is just really good. Their team looks really good defensively. That's it. They look so good. There's 2 of them. But, I mean, they wear the same color jerseys. I'm just telling you, we were all cheering for the same thing. The good news is, though, we didn't lose. We didn't lose yesterday. We won. So the NMI is at 2-1 for the for the majors. So got to be happy about that. All right, guys. I think that's just about it. We talked about it. If you didn't see it last night, we could pull it up for you because it was outstanding. The footage from last night's opening ceremony of the game was just of the games plural was outstanding. Palau did such an amazing job. They pulled out all the stops. It was just incredible to see it. Now the thing is that they couldn't help was that the weather was not friendly at all. The weather was just awful, to be fair. Hold on, let me see if I can't pull this up for you guys so you can see it. That's it. I mean, that's the part of the footage. Oh, my God. Is that the best I got? I can't do better than that? Hold on. Come on. Let's go. I'm trying. That should be it. All right. Yeah, the thing is, I am... the hard part is that I've got the whole screen thing going on. All right, anyway, trying to minimize this stuff and make it look okay. Well, I'm in the way is basically what it's going to look like. Hold on, let's see if I can make it go down, make it a little bit better. All right, there it is. It makes it a little bit better there. But that's some of the footage from last night. But really what was great was the fireworks. So I'm going to fast forward it. Oh, check this out. This is the torchbearer. Let me give. They said such nice things about her. It was great. Let me turn off this music and give you this because you guys got to hear this. So she's the torchbearer. They just had this emotional ceremony where they went all around passing it from Palau legend to Palau legend. The games legends, Olympians, mini games, micro games, you name it, Pacific Games. And it was inspiring. Now watch, she's climbing this. This is after it's been pouring rain all night during this. I'm telling you, the rain let up a little bit for this, but it was pouring. So she's climbing up to light the torch. How tall is this torch going to be? Holy freaking crap. Watch what this looks like. There's so much of a message. Also, she's climbing upstairs for scalp. Look at the size of that torch. And there's like 3 of them. Look at this torch that everybody let's cheer for Miss Sydney as she ascends. Delegations put together, just impressive. Look at that torch. And there's my commentary from last night. An inspiration for all the athletes, the fans, the coaches, all in attendance. And as she's doing that, it is soaking wet and slippery. One misstep is it would be awful. So you see how slow she's going up those stairs. And, you know, going up those stairs is one thing. Imagine she still had to go down. And then without all the excitement, it's just a holy crap moment. I would not be the one who wanted to volunteer for that job. But watch this, and it is incredible. And watch her reaction when she lights it. Hold on.
Let's come together. 6, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She's... What a firework display. They ran out of music. What a grand spectacle put on by the people of Palau. Something to be proud of. Just incredible. Sulang. Sulang, Palau. Just a fantastic display by the people of Palau to welcome the 2025 Pacific Mini Games. Supreme athletes from throughout the Pacific. This will be their last night's sleep before they hit the track, hit the pool, hit the courts, hit the fields, hit the gym. Training for months, some for years, to prepare just for this event. Well, anyway, we'll let that continue to go as it was amazing to see. And again, it was a great, TMW in Palau had great coverage of the ceremony also. I discovered them during that, so I am following all these guys now in Palau. And just absolutely incredible. And look at that. That's still going. They ran out of music. They're not even playing music anymore. So she had to stay up there the whole time with the torch. The rain was still coming down, but not nearly as heavy as it was earlier. In fact, it was so wild. I thought the president of Palau was going to shut his speech down a little bit to let people get out of the rain. No. There were still tons and tons of athletes out there in the middle of the field. It was coming down like cats and dogs, I'm telling you. In fact, let me see if I can't find the spot where he was talking. I'm going to rewind it here just a little bit. And this might be part of it. You see the athletes still out there. And we're going to play the part where the athlete. So look that's the president of Palau speaking right there.
Begin!
Yeah, that's where he opened them up. But it was a long speech as it was raining.
Celebrate every victory.
Let's see. It was a long one. See, it's still going. At the beginning, it wasn't really raining.
In the countries.
Okay, let's fast forward it a little bit just to get.
Molmu trahato obe. Agulit membodadak. Edo oti akliibe la argid. El mortirgal okyak sang argid.
Mesdames et messieurs, conformément à notre protocole traditionnel, la présidente va vous présenter ses salutations et demander la permission de s'adresser à vous en anglais. Mais il vient d'abord de vous souhaiter la bienvenue.
Malsual mutial teal, emrenga sulir our governors, el tiram lotmak, lo bangeder tial ngaral, el mugair tirgal, el af raigal bek kelbulu. Ebo baskaka teal ebilu, ebiraklay, ebo gulugot tora amrigel mortigal okyakargid. Distinguished leaders, honored guests, athletes, and friends from across the Blue Pacific, welcome to Palau. Let us begin by first honoring our diversity that is woven together by the ocean that connects us all. Bonjour. Kia ora. Kia ora. Maloni. Malolele. Talofa. Talofa kotu. Hello. Bula vinaka. Hello. Good day. Maori. Ekamowir Omo. Yokwe. Kamonale. Half a day. And Ali. On behalf of the people of Palau and the government of Palau, it is my deepest honor to welcome you all, distinguished guests, athletes, coaches, officials, families, and friends to our island home. Thank you to the Pacific Games Council for trusting us with this privilege.
Au nom du peuple et du gouvernement de Palau, j'ai le grand honneur de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à tous, invités de marquer, athlètes, entraîneurs, officiels, familles des amis dans notre pays. Merci au Conseil des Jeux du Pacifique de nous avoir accordé ce privilège.
Of course, the French, that's for the folks from New Caledonia and for Tahiti.
Plusieurs îles, en océan, en peuple.
This year we welcome the largest gathering in the history of the mini games, with over 2,000 athletes and more than 1,000 coaches and officials and supporters from 23 nations. In this moment, we are not separated by borders or distance, but united by our shared dreams and love for sport.
Nous avons l'honneur d'accueillir à nouveau les mini-jeux du Pacifique qui s'est déroulé l'année dernière de 2005. Cette fois, ceci en accueilli le plus de grand nombre de plus avec de 2200 athlètes, 100 entraîneurs et des invités de venus de 23 pays. Les Jeux ne sont pas qu'une en compétition, une célébration de qui nous sommes en tant que Pacifique Bleu.
And to our organizing committee, led by Chairman Dr. Patrick Talay, ONAC President and Palau Secretary General Baklay Tamangil, and PNOC President Frank Kyota, your leadership and your dedication has made this dream possible. Kokman Masulang.
Présidente du comité organisation de Palau, présidente de l'ONOC et secrétaire général de Palau NOC, et le président de Palau NOC.
From Koror to Irai, Mulgayok and Tungiwal, and across all 16 states, this has been truly a whole of Palau effort. Komran Masulang.
And just watch as the weather starts to roll in. It looks relatively clear right now.
We are truly grateful to our international partners for their unwavering support, to Taiwan and Ambassador Jessica Lee for building and upgrading our world-class sports facilities. Xie.
Wow, and Taiwan making an investment over there in Palau. Hopefully they could do something like that for us. We'll take it.
To Japan and His Excellency Hiroyuki Orikasa for strengthening our power grid and keeping our lights shining bright. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Monsieur Ambassadeur Orikasa, nous remercions le Japon non seulement pour son partenaire, mais aussi pour son travail de modernisation de notre réseau électrique. Merci beaucoup.
And to the United States and Ambassador Joel Ehrenreich for transforming our schools and facilities into homes for our athletes. Thank you.
Monsieur l'ambassadeur Ehrenreich, nous remercions les États-Unis pour la transformation de nos écoles dans des villages pour nos athlètes.
And to Australia and Ambassador Toby Sharp for the security cooperation through the Pacific Police Support Group, media assistance ensuring live broadcast, and collecting Palau to the Pacific through Qantas and Air Nauru in the skies. Thank you.
Monsieur l'ambassadeur Sharp, le soutien d'Australie s'est traduit par une coopération en matière de sécurité, par l'équipement et l'expertise des médias, par les bénévoles et par des vols permettant de relier Palau à Pacifique du Nord et Pacifique du Sud.
And now to the athletes who have flown across the Pacific and who have stood through the rain. You are the heartbeat of these games. Through sport, we strengthen both body and mind. Physical activity helps us sleep better, manages stress, and builds emotional resilience. It sharpens our thinking and lifts our mood and connects us to others.
Athlètes, malgré la météo, nous sommes unis à la fois la famille et l'océan. Nous sommes liés par la culture des partenaires. En quête ensemble, nous sommes plus forts. Grâce au sport, nous renforcerons notre corps et notre esprit. Nous améliorons notre santé. Nous aiguisons notre esprit et nous nous rapprochons des autres. Le sport protège également notre santé à long terme.
Through sport, we become our best selves. We learn discipline, resilience, and teamwork. We discover that victory is not only measured by medals, but by the friendships we forge, the challenges we overcome, and the hope we inspire.
Vous êtes vraiment des ambassadeurs de forme physique, de santé et d'intégrité. Vous avez atteint le sommet de la performance grâce à un travail harnache, des choix sains et une compétition honnête. Travaillons donc ensemble pour que les Jeux et les villages restent exemptés.
You are role models of fitness, health, and integrity. You have reached the pinnacle of performance through hard work, healthy choices, and clean competition. So let us work together to ensure the games and the villages are free from tobacco, e-cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs so that every athlete, every spectator, and every volunteer can thrive in a safe and healthy environment.
Travaillons donc ensemble à éviter tout le malsain, afin que chacun puisse apprendre dans un environnement sûr et sain.
President Kyoto, Palau's legend of a two-headed eel from Airai, your state and the state where the airport is located, speaks to the very heart of teamwork. At one point, the two heads were pulling against each other, competing for food, not realizing they shared one body. Because they were working against each other, they were starving. But when they realized they were one, they began to work together. They celebrated each other's successes, and by working together, they thrived.
Le président a raconté une parabole paléosienne sur Angui à deux têtes, basée sur la légende de la tête de l'Airai, située à l'aéroport. Dans l'histoire, les deux têtes de creatures singulières, l'un et l'autre, en compétition pour la survie. Mais elles rendaient compte qu'elles ne forment pas qu'un seul corps, et qu'en travaillant ensemble, elles parviennent à réussir.
I promise I'm almost done. Now let me share a story that embodies the true spirit of the games. David Liddy, who was carrying the flag for New Zealand, is here with us tonight. And at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, David's greatest moment was not just winning gold, but helping his injured Samoan competitor, Latiti Lui, onto the podium. And while there he said, if there is no you, there is no competition. Thank you for being the best challenger, best suited for me to push myself.
Je vous remets, je suis prêt de terminer ce soir. Le président partage une histoire inspirante qui a incarné l'esprit des jeux. David Liddy, l'équipe de néo-zélandaise de haltérophilie, est une source d'inspiration. Lorsque le jeu de Commonwealth en 2019 était opposé par pointe sous le lancement de Latiti Lui. Mais en pleine de compétition, Latiti s'est blessé. Cela donne lieu à un véritable geste d'esprit sportif. Latiti aide son ami et lui produisant des paroles d'encouragement.
This act of kindness and respect reminds us we are not only rivals, but brothers and sisters in this journey. And as Matthew 5:16 says, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
Dans le Pacifique, notre plus grande force est notre unité, notre capacité à nous rassembler, nous soutenir les uns les autres, inspirer l'espoir des générations futures. Selon Matthieu 5:16, que votre lumière brille enfant, que les autres voient vos bonnes œuvres et glorifient votre Père qui est dans les cieux.
So compete fiercely, do your best, leave it all on the court, the field, the track, the pool, the ocean, the beach, and the gym. Lift each other higher, celebrate every victory, and rise together after every fall. Because in the Pacific, we are not just stewards of our islands, we are champions for each other. And let these games be a shining example of what we can achieve when we stand together.
Montrons au monde le pouvoir de l'unité, la beauté de l'amitié et la force irrésistible de la communauté, liée par respect.
In the Pacific, our greatest strength is our unity. Our ability to come together, to support one another, and to inspire hope in future generations. Let us show the world the power of unity, the beauty of friendship, and the unstoppable force of a community bound by respect and love. May your light shine, may your hearts be full, and may the spirit of the Pacific guide us all. God bless you, and God bless our blue Pacific.
Que votre lumière brille, que vos cœurs soient pleins, que l'esprit du Pacifique nous guide tous. Mesdames et messieurs, le moment du soir, Le président a la dernière parole à déclarer l'ouverture de la 12e édition des Jeux du Pacifique, malgré la météo. Merci beaucoup.
All right, there you go.
Let the 12th Pacific Mini Games begin.
And the athletes going wild for the president and his rousing speech. Get everybody all excited. That was great, and congratulations, man. I'll tell you what, though, you can look. It was pouring. It was absolutely pouring. Look at all the athletes still standing out there. Just crazy how much rain was coming down. We were messaging Leigh Gassis. She's with the Marianas Press, and she's down there, and just saying, hey, she's going to have a heck of a rain story. It was coming down. She's like, it still is. So it is. That was last night. Anyway, we're moments away. We're reaching out to the chef de mission. One second. Okay, we have the chef de mission for the NMI team, Nick Gross. He's going to be on with us here momentarily. He's got his hands full, as everybody does, who's out there in the game. And we are just going to be all over it. I'm getting a whole bunch of messages from our good guys over there at Turnkey Solutions. By the way, those guys are amazing, taking care of us and getting our website ready and getting ready to crush. I'm so excited about it. They came through for me in a short amount of time last week when I was trying to get some stuff done. And boy, those guys are so fast. It's ridiculous how good they are. All right, hey, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, though, we're going to have more for you and get that interview with Nick Gross. We'll see you in a bit.
I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical-grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician, who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
Big, beautiful bill, and it could take hours to get to the next vote.
The Senate is inching closer to voting on the big, beautiful bill. Senate Democrats hamstrung debate on the bill. They mandated that Senate clerks take turns reading the entire bill, all 940 pages, out loud. Democrats are railing against the bill. They contend that millions will lose health benefits. Republicans are touting tax provisions and border security. House conservatives believe the bill evolved in the Senate. They argue that the Senate parliamentarian nixed some important House provisions to comply with Senate budget rules.
That's Fox's Chad Pergram in Washington. The next vote will be part of what's known as a vote-a-rama. Now, besides the Democrats who are opposed to the bill, there are several Republicans who also say they plan to vote no on it, and they did in the vote for the debate. One of them, North Carolina's Tom Tillis, who says the measure is not in the best interests of his constituents. Well, the president isn't happy with him and said so not once but 3 times since last night. And today, Tillis announced that he is not going to seek re-election in 2026. The president also says he is making some strides where a social media app is concerned.
We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval, and I think President Xi will probably do it.
Who's buying?
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
A big technology company there.
Very, very wealthy people. It's a group of very wealthy people.
Mr. Trump telling Fox News that the app boosted his support among young voters in last November's presidential election. He extended that congressional deadline for ByteDance to divest itself from China or be banned in the U.S. 3 times. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Russia launched its largest aerial assault of the war with Ukraine overnight. The Kremlin says it fired more than 500 drones and missiles. Ukraine says nearly half of them were either intercepted or they were jammed. Ukrainian officials add, though, that it was the largest area that was hit from the front lines in a long time and that it was indeed a large attack. Will the first American-born pope be a good fundraiser? Fox's Jack Callahan says Roman Catholic leaders certainly hope so.
Pope Leo XIV Sunday, celebrating the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, which often includes a special collection for the operations of the church's central government and pays for the Pope's personal acts of charity. The church has released a fundraising video complete with a QR code and a website soliciting donations online via credit card or bank transfer. The Vatican trying to reduce a structural deficit estimated to be as high as $68 million. At the end of his blessing Sunday, the Pope said, "I thank those who, with their gifts, are supporting my first steps as the successor of St. Peter." Jack Callahan, Fox News.
A migrant detention center in Florida called Alligator Alcatraz is the subject of a new lawsuit against Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's Fox's Madison Scarpino.
Governor DeSantis says Alligator Alcatraz could start housing migrants on Tuesday. It's being built on a former training base in the marshy Florida Everglades, but the groups filing this lawsuit and people who are just against Alligator Alcatraz say it could really harm the environment. The lawsuit to protect this land was filed Friday, and yesterday, protesters lining a nearby highway waving signs and making speeches, but Governor DeSantis says this will not have any effect on the environment.
The facility expected to cost about $400 million a year. FEMA expected to reimburse Florida for the funds. I'm Daria Albinger. This is Fox
News. It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the waves crash up, the day starts to shine. Every shared moment, our hearts intertwine. Praise got the spirit, lifting us up in the good morning Marianas. Forever filled up, so join in the rhythm, let the other part soar. Good morning Marianas, come on, let's go with the
Good morning, Marianas. It is 10:21, and we are still on the air. Isn't that wild? Isn't that weird, wild stuff? Yeah, because we're going to be doing some baseball coverage. At 11 o'clock, that's right, we're going to have the old Little Leaguers on here. So we're going to stop the stream before we get started for that. So we have the scene collection that we need that's all fancy. By the way, we are hanging on. We've got Nick Gross, who's going to be on with us. He's the chef de mission for the NMI delegation out there in Palau. Also reaching out to the folks from the different teams and saying, hey, and good luck. We should be getting some results from wrestling today. We were already chatting it up with wrestling coach Rick Bauer. We met the team when they came in for Good Morning Marianas, and apparently the brackets aren't that big, so they're going to be able, for each wrestling style, they're going to be having the finals that day. Is that wild or what? Tom Bassa, what is up? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, my man. I'll tell you what, it is a great day. I'm excited to start seeing medals roll in for the NMI because it's going to happen. These guys look good. The teams are ready to go. And after they got that bonus shower from the rain yesterday, we're going to be in good shape. We're going to have some of that, all those updates for you throughout the day as we continue to work to bring everybody together and get this stuff happening. Man, it's going to be wild. We got coverage all day, all night, it feels like. And so we woke up feeling like we were hungover. Not a single beer was had, but just being here so long for coverage yesterday, from the morning with baseball all the way through to the evening with Little League. But hey, this is our chosen job, our chosen profession, and so we're going to bring that stuff to you. In the meantime, while we're hanging out waiting for that phone call, talk about some of the local headlines and something to be happier about. You can be happy because our fuel prices went down again. Yes, our benevolent leaders over in Mobile Land have decided to have mercy upon the Marianas by dropping the fuel prices again. I don't know if they do it for a reason, but they dropped it another 10 cents just to make it easier on us. It's still not great. I used to think at least it would be proportional to the fuel prices in the mainland, and they used to be when I first got out here. It was more, but it wasn't that bad. When I first got out here, the prices were $198 for regular and $208 for premium, which when I came out here, I thought that was a lot. And because it was a lot when the prices got up to like $120 in the mainland back then. But now the prices were less than $3 a gallon in the mainland, yet we're still way over $5. So, where's that proportional difference? I don't know. I feel like we're definitely getting jobbed a little bit. Now, not everybody shares that. They're like, hey, man, that's it. Either you go electric or you're going to have to pay more because we live out here. Yeah, I get that, but we don't get paid. It's not that much of a difference. We are definitely paying more than I think that we should. I know it's their business. They want to make their own money and all that other stuff. I just think bring someone else in. The CNMI should build a fuel farm and lease it to somebody else who wants to give us a better deal. Why don't you do that for Mobile and for Shell? I guess we could. But, also track record is important, too. Just because they've been out there. They give, because of the amount of fuel that we buy at CUC pays a very small amount per gallon for fuel from Mobile. And they do it because they're buying like millions at a time. All right, hey, here comes that phone call real quick. Let's get that in. We want to get the man, the myth, the legend on right now. So hold on one second. We got that call. Let's answer it. There we go. Hey, by the way, we got him on the phone right now, and I know you can hear us. Nick, I've got you on the show. Can you hear me? It is great. I've got the volume maxed out as much as I can get it. Can you say it one more time? We could hear you say Ali from Palau.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
perfect.
I'm hoping you're getting reception here.
Yeah, we got you. Great.
I am down at Va'a. We've got Carter Kalma racing in the V1 right now out on the water. You can hear the NMI cheering him on behind me.
Oh, that is excellent. So it's 1v1 right now. Is he in a big group, or is it just like one versus, are they individual races?
The V1 is the one-man canoe. And so he is out in his heat right now on the water. It looks to me, from my vantage point, like he is sitting second place in his race. Again, big crowds here in Palau, so hard to get the good spot.
I bet. In their heat, do you know how many folks are in each one of the heats? Like, are there a lot of boats in the water?
It looks like this, I think they're running heats right now, Brad, and it looks to me like there is 3 out there, and looks to me like we are going to finish second in that race from my vantage point. So I don't know where that puts him in advancing in the V1, but good stuff happening.
That's awesome. We're really excited about it, and I know that you've got so many folks down there who are cheering, but there's a lot more folks coaching and participating. You got one of the biggest jobs down there as the chef de mission. Can you walk us through about how wild your life has been since you hit the ground running?
Well, let's see here. This is starting day 4 of being on the ground, and I'm probably up to 12 to 14 hours of sleep. So they're keeping me busy, but that is the role of the chef, is to try to relieve all the nuisance barriers kind of surrounding our ability to perform, so that the athletes and the coaches can focus on competing. And Palau, I give it up to them. They are certainly doing their very best. This turns out to be the largest mini games in their history by almost 500 people. They've got a great big crowd, and the numbers never ever started to go down. And so they're struggling a little bit, as they've got right in the neighborhood of 2,000 athletes and officials that are here. So they are certainly stretched. And as these things go, in my experiences, all the planning and all the SOPs that were released don't become the reality on the ground. And so every day is a new kind of solve the problems as they come. But that's what Pacific Islanders do.
Well, that's why they've got you over there and helping out as someone who's experienced as an athlete with the game and as one of the organizers of sport in the Marianas in general. Hey, it's so funny. You talked about the biggest games ever. The president of Palau, Tommy Whips, talked about that yesterday, or President Whips. And he said that, and we were able to hear it from the dry comforts of here. It looked like the skies just opened up on you guys yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was certainly a blessing. I'm not sure I caught exactly what you were saying, but I think it was in reference to the big crowds and the opening ceremony. Yes, there was certainly a blessing, and then there was a dumping, and then there was another blessing, and then it was one of the wettest ones, I think, out there as far as an opening ceremony goes. But, from my standpoint and taking care of the team, I certainly nodded my head to all the teams that were competing this morning. And gave them the green light to go ahead and exit that opening ceremony early. As much as I want everybody to enjoy all of the ceremonial part of things, we're here for a reason, and that's to bring home some medals. So we had quite a few people vacate early to get out and get some rest and begin the mental part of preparing to compete. And I tell you, just a gorgeous scene here as I'm standing here looking at Va'a to my left. I've got the pool to my right, and I got the softball field right behind me. They are going to be conducting a formal opening ceremony for softball here at 10 o'clock Palau, 11 o'clock Saipan time, with all of the teams being paraded out onto the field. And so I'm hoping to catch that. But as all that's happening over at the National Gym, we've got our girls indoor volleyball team making a big comeback, as they have not competed in regional competitions in so very long. They are going up against Palau as we speak over at the National Gym. And so a lot of my time is spent on the road, in fact, just back and forth between venues. And, there are some issues with the organizing, and it's kind of up to me and my staff. I've got Lelaine Irish Tagaro kind of being my right-hand support in picking up meals and ordering meals and trying to get meals delivered to all of our athletes that are kind of spread out across Palau here in day one of competition. But finally, we've arrived. It is the time to shine, NMI. All the planning is behind us, and it is competition day.
Well, really appreciate that update, Nick, and hopefully, we can reach out to you in the next few days while all this stuff happens. Can you tell us how impressive is that gigantic torch that's there?
Which one? I'm sorry, breaking up just a bit.
The torch. The
port?
The torch, the flame.
The plane. Sorry, I'm missing it. I'm not catching what you're saying. Sorry, Brad.
Hey, no problem. But I'll message you. Hold on, there we go. Anyway, I can't even type it quickly enough. But hey, want to say, I'll just say thanks. We'll let you go for today, and we'll message you again later.
Well, we've got the opening medals of the games will be awarded in Va'a, is my understanding, and another big sport that is trying to make a comeback is our wrestling program, and we've got some wrestlers that are happening today. They start about 10 o'clock through 1 o'clock is some preliminary rounds. And then we've got finals, I believe, in the freestyle tonight from 4 to 6. But we've got the biggest game of the tournament, I think, with CNMI baseball going head-to-head against Palau in the opener tonight, 5 o'clock Palau, 6 o'clock NMI time. So tune into that, as well as the resurgence of girls fast pitch softball. We will be going up against Papua New Guinea at 4:30. So, I just wish there was 4 of me so I didn't miss anything.
Well, we're cheering for all you guys, and those are big games, and we can't wait to see them. Thanks so much for your time today.
That's right. Hey, thanks for reaching out, Brad, and to everybody in the NMI, tune in and cheer loud. We are here to win some medals. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, too. There's Nick Gross, our chef de mission for the mini games and Team NMI, doing us proud out there. Thanks so much for taking time for us.
Absolutely, guys. Keep watching, keep tuning in, and cheer on the home team. We'll talk to you later, buds.
All right, take care. There you go. Thanks so much, Nick Gross. And man, what an amount of work that he's got to do. The responsibility of taking care of all the teams that are out there, and my goodness, that's a lot. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be going live with the Little League game because we're just about 30 minutes away from getting started. The CNMI is going to be playing against Japan at 11 o'clock. So we're going to break this one up. We're going to come back live again at 11. So thanks for tuning in for Good Morning Marianas. Absolutely love having you guys on here. We'll be back again tomorrow. So for that, and we'll be back again a lot quicker so we can get this one for you. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys in about less than 30 minutes.
It's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face. He's ready to share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, goes counting dish. Good morning, Marianas, the best out of here.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. Laughter and stories, come what may.
Hi, I'm Shauna from Island Skin Solutions. If you're looking for an alternative to waxing and shaving, we have a solution for you. Our laser hair removal offers long-lasting, safe, and effective results. This month, we're offering 15% off of our laser hair removal packages, which are already buy 3, get 1 free. If you're interested in laser hair removal, contact us to set up your consultation today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami and greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun. Good morning, Marianas.